Welcome to English Practice Every Day. In this video, we will continue our practice from earlier session of Practice 20. We are practicing our constructive rule number 1, Group 3, that says I, we, you, they, plural of people or things, he, she, it, and singular of people or things is always followed by didn't plus base form of verb. Please remember, this practice is for your tongue, your ears, and your mind to associate I, we, you, they, he, she, it with didn't plus base form of verb, and to avoid errors like I didn't knew, he didn't understood, they didn't looked, or John didn't forgot. So please go through this practice with patience and discipline. Let's start. Please speak out loud with me. I didn't escape from the room. We didn't look for the missing keys. You didn't park the car properly. They didn't ache after the long hike. He didn't walk to the store. She didn't cough during the lecture. It didn't develop the film correctly. John didn't mark the correct answer. I didn't stop to offer help. We didn't pick up groceries. You didn't laugh at the joke. They didn't talk about their feelings. He didn't ask for directions. She didn't work overtime. It didn't jump over the obstacles. John didn't attack his opponent. I didn't hope for a better outcome. We didn't sleep on the wet floor. You didn't drop the fragile vase. They didn't furnish the new apartment. He didn't notice the changes. She didn't press the button. It didn't fix the leaky faucet. John didn't wash the dishes. I didn't reduce my portion. We didn't express our gratitude. You didn't address the issue. They didn't cross the finish line. He didn't touch the hot stove. She didn't wish for a miracle. It didn't polish the silverware. John didn't miss the bus. I didn't base my decision on emotions. We didn't dress up for the party. You didn't pass the exam. They didn't introduce themselves. He didn't place the order. She didn't advance in her career. It didn't promise to be on time. John didn't stretch before exercising. I didn't rush to catch the train. We didn't practice the piano. You didn't watch the sunset. They didn't push the heavy cart. He didn't reach the top shelf. She didn't heap praise on them. It didn't whip the cream. John didn't guess the correct answer. I didn't milk the cow. We didn't rejoice at the news. You didn't search for the lost keys. They didn't thank me for the gift. He didn't dip his toe in the water. She didn't hook the fish. It didn't mix well. John didn't risk his life. I didn't like the movie. We didn't camp in the wilderness. You didn't pump the bicycle tire. They didn't slope down the hill. He didn't stamp the envelope. She didn't pack her suitcase. It didn't prick our fingers. John didn't curse under his breath. I didn't chase after the dog. We didn't lock the door. You didn't race to the finish line. They didn't smoke cigarettes. He didn't stick to the plan. She didn't crash the party. It didn't wreck the car. Jean didn't cease his efforts. I didn't pronounce the word correctly. We didn't march in the parade. You didn't nurse the injured bird. They didn't establish a new business. He didn't enclose the documents. She didn't pause to catch her breath. It didn't praise her for her achievements. John didn't manage the team effectively. I didn't arrange the flowers in a vase. We didn't advise you on the matter. You didn't please everyone with your action. They didn't raise their concerns. He didn't suppose that would happen. She didn't close the door behind her. It didn't change my perspective. John didn't amuse the children. I didn't oppose the new policy. We didn't seize the opportunity. You didn't charge your phone. They didn't urge him to reconsider. He didn't advertise his products. She didn't exercise regularly. It didn't civilize the wild animals. John didn't encourage her enough. I didn't recognize her from the crowd. We didn't toss the ball back and forth. You didn't judge the situation correctly. They didn't refuse the offer. He didn't operate the machinery. She didn't point out the mistake. It didn't suspect foul play. John didn't doubt his abilities. I didn't suggest an alternative. We didn't note down the address. You didn't test the hypothesis. They didn't admit their mistake. He didn't paint a beautiful picture. She didn't elect him as the leader. It didn't act in time. John didn't knot the rope properly. I didn't invite her to the party. We didn't hate each other. You didn't hunt for treasure. They didn't invent a new gadget. He didn't heat the food properly. She didn't interest me with her stories. It didn't interrupt the conversation. Jean didn't instruct us on the procedure. I didn't infect others with my illness. We didn't greet our guests. You didn't float in the pool. They didn't comfort her. He didn't feast on the meal. She didn't delight me as much as I hoped. It didn't consist of only one ingredient. Jean didn't educate himself on the topic. I didn't desert my post. We didn't disappoint our fans. You didn't excite the crowd with your act. They didn't cheat in the game. He didn't plant flowers in the garden. She didn't pilot the airplane. It didn't ornament the Christmas tree. Jean didn't respect my opinion. That's all for this session. We will continue this practice of speaking grammatically correct English that we learned in lesson 6. I urge you to please keep practicing correct English with patience and discipline. And bye for now.